Hey, what is up guys, Chris here, and today I promised you I'm gonna come up with the video about the gear, everything that it's in our bags. And I say our because this gear here on this table, it's split between me and my wife. We're both shooting weddings as a couple, and I'm very lucky to have her as my assistant. She's a very good photographer. So today I'm gonna tell you exactly what we're using and what we have in our bags, and I'm gonna start with the bags. And this is my wife's bag. This is a newer Troller bag that we bought recently. I really like it. I like the orange accents, and we need this because we're always splitting. She's going to the groom, I'm going to the bride, or the other way around. And I am very happy to say that this bag does all the things that we need to do. It has a lot of pockets. It has a magnetic hold here. As you can tell now, it's open, but it holds magnetically. It has a very nice pouch here on the front that you can put filters and all that stuff. Also, it can be converted to a backpack. Here on the back, in this pouch, you have the backpack straps. So this one, it's very nice, and for the money we paid for, I think it was around 150. I'm gonna put the links in the description down below so you guys will know exactly. It has great aluminum accents, nice wheels, and I'm pleased with this bag, though it didn't cost much. So this is my wife's. Mine is a Ape 2000. Also a stroller bag. This is the Ape 2000 or 4000, I'm not sure exactly. It's on yellow accents, and I really like it. I think I have it for like 4 or 5 years, something like that, and it has everything that I need. Here on the front you can put your here on the front you can put your flashes. You have a side pocket, you have a laptop pocket just like the other one. You have front pockets that you can throw easy, like batteries and grips and stuff like that that you don't need at that time. So this one, it's a super solid bag that I am only using for weddings because it's kind of heavy. It does convert to a backpack as well, and the wheels, everything, it holds pretty nice. This one went to a lot of wear and tear during the last 4 years, but I am very happy with it. Now let's start with the small accessories and go through the big ones. This is my beautiful tripod. I think it's like 10-15 years old. It's a Giotto's QU200, and it's all metal. I think it's aluminum or something like that. It's very convertible. You can extend the main console and have it a little bit higher. It's a small tripod that I'm using mostly for my vlogs, but I used it in the past for landscape and stuff like that. The legs, if I can open it, there you go. The legs are going down. You can make them very small, and that's exactly what you get out of this tripod. This is what I'm using for backlighting and stuff like that we need, probably if I need time lapse for weddings. And this is a great tripod. I am very happy with it. We're using 2 or 3 of these. These are the Godox X1 TS transmitters for our cameras, because we're using Sony. They're marked S. If you're using any other cameras, they have the initial of the brand, C for Canon, N for Nikon, and so on and so forth. These are very good, very reliable. We didn't switch to the Pro version because they're a little bit bigger, and I don't like it. Makes the camera looks bulkier, and I don't like them. We also use 3 or 4 blowers. They're very nice when you're shooting mirrorless because there are a lot of dust getting on your sensor due to the fact that they don't have a mirror to protect your sensor. So these ones are pretty useful. Also, for our flashes, we're using 3 or 4 TT350S flashes from Godox. We're pretty much load up with Godox equipment because we do love the brand. And these are pretty nice, pretty small. They go good on the small mirrorless cameras because they're small as well. They're fully tiltable. You can set them up whatever you want. Very nice. They also come up with this diffuser. They do have the white card. They're pretty nice to have, especially if you're shooting mirrorless, because they're small and you don't put a lot of weight on your neck or shoulders or whatever you're using to hold your cameras. Now for editing on the go, I'm using an iPad Pro 10.5 inch 2017 with 256 gigabytes of storage. I love this one. It's a great beautiful on-the-go editing machine. It's very fast, very powerful. I used to have a laptop, but this one it's more portable than that. And my wife is using the MacBook Pro 2017. She's editing on that. I'm editing on this. It's pretty much the same thing, just that this one doesn't have a full Adobe Photoshop and Lightroom version of those applications. I also use this small tablet for where I'm using on my editing rig that's behind me. That's an i7 77K with 16 gigabytes of RAM and a lot of storage and NVIDIA 1060. So this one goes with that and with my wife's MacBook Pro. It's very useful to edit when you need retouching and stuff like that. I really love the form factor. It's small and very light, very portable. Actually, Wacom did a good job. This is a Wacom into a CTL 4100, I think. And if you're going to photography, especially portrait and wedding photography, this will be very helpful for my clients and for the notes that I need to take on the go. I'm using this beautiful Polaroid notebook. I think I got this one at the WPPI in 2017, I think. And I'm using it very, very much because I love to write down the old style pen and paper stuff, and my clients are happy to see that there are still people on this planet who are using pen and paper. I do have the Note 8 and it does have a stylus, and I pretty much can use that to take notes. Actually, it's more helpful, but I love this one. I love the vintage stuff, you know me. So this is a great thing to have in my backpack. For on-the-go storage, we're using small SSDs. This one is I think it's an Evo 850 or 860, I'm not sure exactly, that I put in this Ineo rugged case. These are very good cases, super sturdy, and you can put your SSD inside. That if you don't want to buy the LaCie or whatever, those rugged, the Narbox and all that stuff, we're using these ones to back up our cards on the go and to edit on the go as well. This one is nice because it does have the cable attached to it, so you don't have to carry the cable separately and lose it. And as wedding photographers, we're losing a lot of stuff. So this one goes in these notches here. It actually goes flat on the case, so you just pop it in and that's it. That's what you have. It's super nice. It actually, the cable protects the sides of the case. This is a very good thing that I bought, and I'm very happy with it. The other one, it's my Passport Ultra from Western Digital. This is a slower one, but I'm using it to double back up my photos. And this is pretty much what I have in my bag in terms of storage. The most important thing, and the thing that I love the most, it's this Anker power bank. This is a 10,000 milliamperes that can charge your phone, your batteries for the cameras, your cameras, and any device that accepts USB-C charging. These are very nice to have. We have 3 of them. This one is a 10,000, I think. We have a 25,000 and a 20,000. All of them are good to have in your bags, and they don't take a lot of space. We also have our chargers. We have like 4 or 5 of these different brands. This one is a Numova, I'm not sure. Pretty much Chinese stuff, but they're pretty reliable. They charge the batteries very well. So we went with whatever we needed because we have a lot of batteries and we need to charge them as many as we can at the same time. Now, I think this is pretty much it. We also use this portable card reader. I'm not doing it that much because on this iPad I'm not able to connect it, but my wife is using it for her MacBook Pro. It's an USB 3 card reader that we have to connect to an adapter to go into the USB-C ports of the 2017 MacBook Pro. And she's downloading the pictures through this. It's fast, it's good. This one is a Sabrent, I think. They're very good. They're pretty much like Anker. They build very sturdy stuff, very solid and very good quality. So this is what we have in terms of accessories. Now let's get into cameras and lenses, and I'm gonna tell you that we're using 4 cameras, 2 for each and one of us. 2 A7R3s, this is mine and this is my wife's. So 2 A7R3s and 2 A7 IIIs. This is the A7 III, I think it's my wife's because it's tagged with the turquoise gaffer tape. Mine is filming me right now with the 16-35 on it. So this is a lens that we're using 16-35. Keep that in mind because when we get to lenses, I'm gonna tell you about it. So A7R III, mostly for portraits and high resolution pictures, prints and stuff like that. The most used is the A7 III because it's lower resolution, 24 megapixels, exactly what you need for weddings and events. And I urge you to go buy you know, an 18 to 24 megapixel sensor camera for doing events, because otherwise you're gonna fill your cards and your storage devices super fast. And in 5-7 weddings you're gonna fill an 256 gigabytes SSD, and that's not good because you need to buy more and more all the time. So the lower the megapixel count, the better. We're using grips, as you can tell on mine. I have the Sony VG, whatever it's called, grip for A7 III, A7R III and A9, and we have 2 of them. This is my wife's. She's not using it that much, so I have it both on my cameras. It makes it a little bit bulkier for her, and probably it's I don't know, it doesn't help her that much, so she's not using it. I'm using it more on my cameras. These are the cameras that I'm using in terms of mirrorless. This is my Minolta SRT 101. It's a new addition to my kit. I used to use the Zenith E, the Russian camera that you probably know already. And this one, I just got it probably like 2 or 3 months ago in an estate sale. I'm very happy with this camera. The quality of the build, it's beautiful. Minolta builds beautiful film cameras. And I bought this one along with 3 lenses, the 50-1.4, the 135 2.8 and the 35 2.8. They're all in mint condition, like new condition, and I bought them for $50. So if you are trying to shoot film, or if you like to shoot film, go ahead and check these estate sales or garage sales, because they pretty much have all the time these amazing film cameras that nobody's using anymore, and or eBay. If that's that you're into. I don't like eBay because you can get easily crooked by all kinds of spammers and stuff like that, and scammers. And I pretty much go for estate sales because I can see the objects, I can check it, I can even test it if I want to. Now the lenses, I'm gonna start with the one that I actually loved the most at some point, and this is the Canon 100-300 f5.6L lens. This is an old lens. It's I think pretty much as older as I am, and not exactly, probably 10 years younger. It was actually released in 1987, and it's a great lens. An L lens, you can tell it's a push and pull, and it doesn't hold very well. But this lens has a great quality. I'm using it with my Sigma adapter, the MC11, on my mirrorless Sony cameras, and I'm telling you, the quality out of this lens, it's gorgeous. You can definitely shoot portraits with this one. Has an amazing compression. The sharpness is good. It's really not as good as the 70-200 in terms of quality and resolution, but it's a great lens. So the next one, like I said, is the 70-200 GM lens. I bought this one recently, like I think 6 months ago. I didn't use it much, but I really like the quality and the resolution that comes out of this lens. It's a super sharp lens, very fast autofocus. I talked a little bit about it in my videos. I'm gonna link it up here. This is the lens that we're using for ceremony, for those long aisle shots with the bride and groom, for portraits from time to time. But this lens, it's heavy, it's super hefty, and very bulky. I love it, but on the A7R3 and A7 III without the grip, it looks ridiculous, and it makes the camera to tilt a little bit forward. Now, for an all-around lens, as they are called, it's the 28-75 f2.8 by Tamron We had the 24-70 f2.8, but it seemed a little bit too big for our style. This one, it's smaller, it's lighter, and the quality, it's pretty much the same with the 24-70 G Master. Maybe not fully, but I am very happy with the results that come out of this lens. This is a highly recommended lens in my setup. The portrait lens that I'm using, it's my 51.4 FE by Rokinon. This is not an amazing lens. I bought it because it's a 1.4 and it's the only 1.4 in my setup, except for the 51.4 that I have on my Minolta camera. And I wanted to try it out. I can say it's bad, but it does have some problems with the autofocus. From time to time it locks on and you can't do anything but just reset the camera. Or it actually misses the focus if you're not using a large autofocus point. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep it. It's a very well made out of metal, and the bokeh is buttery smooth. For portraits, I think it's a must, but not because it's a great lens, but because it's a 1.4. So I might go for the Sony, the Zeiss 1.4. I'm not sure. This one, for now, it does the job, so I'm gonna keep it. If you're thinking about buying this, go ahead and check one first. Try it a little bit, because some of them, I heard that they have even worse problems than mine. This is not a highly recommended one, but I love the image quality that comes out of it. Here it's the front cap for the 16-35 f2.8 GM that I'm using to film me right now. So this is the wide lens that we're using for our setup, and as well as the A7 III that I told you that fills me right now. Let's go ahead with the 85 1.8. This is my favorite lens. My wife actually uses this lens most of the time. It's like stuck on her camera. She is holding this on her camera for the entire day. It's a great quality lens. For $500 you can have amazing image quality, and I am pretty sure that this lens is gonna be doubled up soon. We're gonna buy another one, because I'm afraid that if this one something happens, if it falls and breaks, we're gonna miss this dearly. So we'll probably buy another one of these. This is a great lens, highly recommended. And the last lens that I'm using, and this is the less used lens probably in the whole in the entire gear setup that I'm presenting you. This is the 35mm f2.8. It's a Zeiss lens, and I really like the form factor of this one. I used to use this lens for street photography, and I really enjoyed it. I don't say it's not nice, but I think that 35 1.4 it's better. So I'm gonna probably go ahead and try one of those, maybe buy it. But I think that this year it's gonna do the job, and I am thinking about not investing much. We already, like I said, up to probably around $20,000 right now with everything that we're using. So yeah, this is a great lens. It's very sharp. The image quality is good, a little bit of vignetting, but I am very happy. Being a prime, it's super sharp, and the image quality is very good. Now, in terms of lighting, I do have two lights that we're using all the time. These are the Flashpoint Explorer 200, and the other one is a Godox 8200. Pretty much the same thing, just the brand is different. So these two are super used. We're very happy with the results out of them. The quality of the light is good. We also have two adapters that mount both of them, the ones that mount both bulbs and both units, and you get 400 out of it. So we have two of those in case we need them, and that's pretty much it. We're not using bigger and bulkier lighting at the wedding, because it's cumbersome to carry it all the time and all that stuff. I'm gonna show you another thing that we're using, and this is a great thing to have, mostly for those who are starting in wedding photography and portrait photography, because they will help you understand light a lot. This is a 5-in-1 reflector. It's made by Neewer. it's super cheap. I think like 20 bucks, 25 bucks, something like that. But this one, it's a lifesaver when you have a lot of sun or when you're shooting in the shade and you need a little bit more light on your subject. These things are great if you want to cut off the light, the sunlight, or you know, a source of light that bothers you and affects your pictures and your subject. So these things are like a must for any photographer. Even if you're shooting landscape photography, you should have one of these, you know, to change the light on your composition. I'm just kidding, but you can use it to sit on it if it's muddy or you know, wet on the ground. All right, guys, this is pretty much it. Probably you notice behind me that huge stand, the shiny one, the silver one. That's a huge, very cumbersome, very heavy stand that we're rarely using. We're having with us all the time, but rarely take him out because it's super super heavy and it's hard to move it from a place to another. And we're mostly using the small ones. We have like 3 or 4 of those. We also have 2 or 3 umbrellas. I actually am gonna show you one. And as you probably notice, I should be sponsored by Neewer because I'm using their gear a lot, their equipment, and I'm not saying that they're bad, but they're probably not holding like the high quality ones, but they're very good in terms of build, and the quality, it's not bad at all. This is a softbox, actually an umbrella that you can use as a softbox. You're facing the light behind, and the light is gonna get reflected and pushed forward by this silverish interior. That's a great one to carry because it folds and it's just an umbrella, so it's not very hard to carry if you're going, you know, for a photo shoot outside and stuff like that. We have 2 of these and 2 soft boxes by Godox, 35 by 35 inches. So that's it pretty much we're using for 2019, and the things that were used half of 2018. Hopefully you're gonna enjoy these videos, and I'm hoping that you guys are gonna subscribe, share these videos, give them a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That will let me know exactly what you like and what you don't. And I will definitely see you in the next one. Peace.